How's it going, everybody? Got another Sunday night live stream. Looking forward to the conversation with you. Gonna try something a little bit different tonight. I'm gonna try to multitask because I have a lot of apples to cut. So I'm gonna see how many apples I can make it through and still carry on a conversation with you. I don't know if that's gonna work out or not, but we'll see. Anyways, whatever you guys want to talk about, it's all on the table tonight. I'd be happy to talk about anything and answer any questions that you might have. Had a big week of summer serve and have a even bigger week ahead as far as trying to finish the next huge project. So very much looking forward to that. Also, would just like to talk about maybe what else we could do in the rest of the year. We're down to, I believe it's our last 4 weeks. Let me see. Possibly four, possibly 5 more weeks of summer serve. We'll see where we actually end up, but yeah, it's coming to the end. We are like 2/3 of the way done, and we are, we're approaching it. So, those of you that just hopped on, I'm going to be cutting apples while we talk tonight. So, whatever you want to talk about, let me know. And I have so many apples to cut. I just want to try to multitask here. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let me know that you're here. Leave me some comments and then ask any questions that you might have, and we'll see if we can have a good time tonight. The apple picture is not clickbait. That's literally how many apples that I have here. Have like these huge bowls full. Plus, I have at least this many outside as well. I have 2 huge bowls here and probably more than that sitting outside. So if I don't get some of these done, I'm going to be in real trouble come a few days from now, because I probably have that many again sitting out on the ground ready to be picked tomorrow morning. So Tuesday small groups, those of you that come to my house on Tuesdays, we're probably going to be cutting apples. I might be asking for your help, but anyways, hopefully you all are having a great night, had a great week. Let me know what's going on for you, and then we'll, like I said, we'll just have a little conversation tonight. I'd be very much curious what you thought of the most recent Summer Serve video. I just posted it this afternoon. If you haven't watched it yet, you'll have to make sure to go do that. But we had our first corporate Summer Serve. We had the Inn at Lenape, the golf course in Ford City. Well, golf course and event center in Ford City, they came out and helped with Summer Serve. And then we had Summer Serve, obviously, yesterday as well. So we had like a double week this week, and the one video from Saturday won't be out until probably Tuesday. So we'll have a Mental Health Monday. The second episode of Mental Health Monday should be out tomorrow morning. As long as I can get it edited tonight, I don't think it'll be a problem, but it would be disappointing if we had Mental Health Monday and it wasn't on Monday. So probably need to make that happen tonight, and then we'll have our other Summer Serve video on Tuesday, and then I'll be right into making regular videos for the week. So big week ahead. Also, the drone. I got the drone quote back. I paid for the drone repairs, so hopefully that's getting repaired. I don't know, maybe as we speak. Let me check on it here. I'm kind of curious now that I said it. I had the drone crashed a couple weeks ago, and you guys might have seen that video already, but if you haven't, that one's definitely worth watching as well. Let's see here. Repair services. Sorry, I want to see where we are in the process, because I want to see how far we are. I really want to get the drone back. There's several drone videos that I've had requested, and several things that I want to do too. So let's see. DJI, the customer service is really top notch. Yeah, it says still under repair. So I paid for it on, I believe it was Thursday. Let's see, oh, it says the payment didn't process till yesterday. So that's the problem. So they haven't started fixing it yet. Hopefully they'll fix it tomorrow. It says then they have to do a test flight, then a quality assurance check, and then they ship it back to me. So I think best case scenario, I'd have it by the end of the week, but I don't know. It's probably going to be another full week yet. Anyway, let's see who's here. Eli Wiles was the first in the house tonight. Good to have you, Eli. Thanks for showing up. It's awesome to have you. Meatloaf is here, number 2. Swan is here. Melissa's here. Swan's excited about apple pie. You got to come over and, we'll have some apple pie. Or I don't really make pie, but I always make apple crisp. That's my favorite. And so that's kind of become famous at our church, I think. Roblox is in the house and is on vacation. Good to have you, Roblox. Oh, Swan says, I'm in Washington State right now. So you are in apple country. That is where, like, most of the apples in the United States come from, I think. Oh, you said cherries, too. Melissa works Tuesday, so she's not going to come and help me. Boo. Tyler's here. Sorry, didn't know you were making a video. Nothing to be sorry about. Just glad to have you, Tyler. It's always very good. So, Meatloaf says, haven't seen the drone one. It's been in my watch later. Well, get on it. What are you waiting for? You can't let my video sit and watch later. You got to make it happen, now. So, anyways, my apples, it's like heirloom apple trees. So they look, lots of bad spots. So it can be kind of laborious to cut them. But anyways, I just try to get the good parts off of them. Then we freeze these. They're not a very good apple to like take off the tree and eat. Although my kids, they like to take them off the tree and eat them. I just like to bake with them. They're like a soft apple, so they're pretty tart, but still good. But they're really good in in a pie, or a apple crisp is my favorite. Like I said, any kind of apple thing that you would bake. And then we make a lot of apple butter. So in the last year, we've made and consumed, I don't know, I probably made 24 pints of apple butter last year, I think, at least. And then this year, I'll probably try to make just as many if I get enough apples, because that's how we consume the most apples. But I'll make a bunch of apple butter, and then I make apple crisp at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. And yeah, we go through a lot of apples. Tyler was here actually last year. Tyler helped me do some apples. So Tyler, if you want to come out and help with apples, Tyler knows that when you come and help with apples, you get to take lots of apples home. So Tyler, I think last year took maybe 3 or 4 gallons home. I'm not sure exactly how many, but Tyler took a lot of apples home. And then total, I probably cut, I don't know, probably between 30 gallons, I would guess, last year. The year before, though, I didn't get any because we had a late freeze. Well, we had a warm spring, and then we had a late freeze. So it was like the recipe for disaster for apples. So we had all the trees were blooming by middle of April, which is super early. And then we had a freeze on, I believe it was May 8th. We had a hard freeze. It was down in the 20s, and it just destroyed my entire apple crop. It was a sad day. But that does happen in western Pennsylvania every now and again. But now this I've had 2 years now where I'll have good apple crops for 2 years in a row. So that's awesome. So what I'm doing is I take all my good apples and put them in freezer bags, like so. And all my bad apples I place in a bin. This is like an old ice cream tub. And then we give all these to the chickens. So there's no waste in this process whatsoever. We have 100% usage. It's either for human consumption or for chicken consumption. And then the chickens eat it and turn it into eggs. So I'm either going to get apples or eggs. It's a win-win for me. It's a good thing. Let's see. Comments. Melissa says, hey, you saw me a lot this week. We did see you a lot this week. So we had... You were at Summer Serve, which was fantastic. You were at Small Group, which was fantastic. And you were at church today. You had the trifecta. The perfect church attendance for the week in my book. But we love hanging out with you, Melissa. I'm so glad that you're a part of the church. I'm so glad that we met you, it's been a year and a half ago or something? Or maybe just a little over a year, I guess. But very glad to have you as part of my life. So you and your kids have been a blessing to me. Sorry, this one's got a lot of bad spots. Sometimes I end up cutting them several times. Swan says, apple crisp, yum. We'll drop by for some if that's okay. next time I'm in your neighborhood. Absolutely. Let me know when you're going to be around, and maybe I'll bring an apple crisp to work, and so we can come. You can come see me during business hours, and we'll share some apple crisp and ice cream and have a good old time. Found at Sprinkles they have an ice cream that's like caramel crunch, and so it has caramel layered through it, and then like little almost like Heath bar pieces, and then they have it had pecans in it too. So you take that with some like homemade apple crisp. It's dangerous. It was out of this world good, and I ate that like for several days in a row last week. So I'm trying to be good this week in what I eat, but I guess it's apples, so it's healthy, right? See who else is here. Oh, Laura's in the house. Good to see you, Laura. Laura, I promise I'm trying to drop by and see you. I know I haven't been there in like over a month since I probably said I was going to come and see you. And so totally 100% my fault. It's just been a crazy time in life, and I hope you're doing well. I really do. Let's see. Bobby's in the house. Good to have you, Bobby. Meatloaf is apologizing that Melissa had to come to so many church events. You should be proud of that, Krista. You shouldn't be having to apologize for that. Hopefully your life will be enriched because of it. So some of these apples, when I cut into them, look how gross this is. That's like when like a worm has dug all the way deep inside. That's why it's really important to gather all of your apples. I was telling Brad at church today this actually, because he has an apple tree, and he said all of his apples look bad, and they're all, they all have these spots on them. And I told him the best thing you can do if you have an apple tree that is not doing well is you just have to clean up after it every year. What a lot of people, they make the mistake of just thinking that it's just bad apples, and so they let the tree go forever, and they don't pick up the apples. So what happens is all of the worms that live inside of the apples, they then get to fully reproduce for the year. They get to then survive the winter, and then all of those worms next year will climb up into your tree, and your apples will actually be worse next year because you'll have more worms, and you'll start the cycle all over again. So the best thing you can do, even if you have bad apples, is to go out and collect as many as you possibly can. Just get them off your property. If you have chickens, give them to your chickens. If you have any kind of animal, feed them. Make sure that something eats them up, and then the next year you'll have less worms and hopefully have better apples. So that's my best advice to you. If you have any apple trees that are like heirloom apple trees like mine are probably, according to the last homeowner, they're probably over 40 years old. And so very old for apple trees. And then as you guys know, if you've been watching any of my homestead videos, I've planted 50 fruit trees since I've lived here. And so I know that these apple trees aren't going to last forever. And if I want to have apples for the rest of my days on this property, I know that I have to reproduce fruit trees. And so I'm continuing to do that and try to make it better and better. Because I figure, if I ever get too many to eat or to consume myself, then I'll just have free fruit picking days for the church, and they can come out here and gather up as many apples as they can eat, and we'll all have our fruit fix for the year. Tyler says, I want to start YouTube vids again, but I was wondering if you could help me find a niche. Yes, absolutely, Tyler. I would love to do that. I think your niche should be like, I think you should steal the idea from the church, and I think you should have a niche. I've been thinking about this for a while, so I already know what your niche should be, in my opinion, is that you should document the community garden and how to start a community garden in your city. And so you can tell the whole community garden story, since we're just beginning our community garden, and then as we expand into hopefully making ours nicer and nicer, and as we expand into hopefully other lots, then we'll have several community gardens around Kittanning, and you can show how do you run a successful community garden project not only in Kittanning, but anywhere in the Northern Hemisphere. I think that would be an amazing channel, and I think you could brand it really well, and I think it would take off. I think it's a popular thing. People are looking for community gardens. They're looking to have advice on how to start them, and then you and I, we could get together and brainstorm video ideas. I know that you're into gardening already. I know that it's a passion of yours, and I think you'd be great at it. So that's what I think. And then we'd have another really cool Kittanning channel, and I will share all your stuff on my Greatest City in the World page because it will apply, and I think we can make yours grow. I really do. So let me know what you think of that idea, Tyler, and we'll get into it. I could come up with 20 video ideas within 20 minutes, I bet, and we'd be off and running. And I could use help, and I know Kevin's been managing the community garden now, but Kevin, I bet, would be willing to help you film, and he'd certainly appreciate your help at the garden. I know that. I have some big plans for the garden, by the way. Those of you that have seen the community garden, we have there's been a broken sidewalk. Well, there was a big tree that had ripped up all the sidewalk, and so the city pulled that tree stump out, and they tore the sidewalk out, and they're getting ready to re-pour it. But it's set up really nice, I think, for us to do something cool. What I want to do, there's a sidewalk level, and so right behind the sidewalk I could want to create a little flower bed, and so there'd be one level of flowers, and then I want to have steps that go up to the next level, and then we'd have another level of flowers there, so we'd have low, medium, and then behind that I want to go back about 3 feet and build raised beds all across it, and so then we'll have another level of flowers there, and then in the back behind it I want to plant the giant sunflowers, the ones that grow like 8 to 10 feet tall. And I thought if we could have raised beds that were like 3 or 4 feet tall, then we'll have 8-foot sunflowers behind them, and we'll have 4 tiers of flowers there. And then in every tier I want to do like a spring flower, a summer flower, and a fall flower. So every week or every season of the year we'll have just an entire wall of flowers there as kind of the entrance to the community garden. And so then I want to have steps kind of going up, so you'd have to walk through the flower wall to get back into the rest of the garden. And then maybe have an archway or something there with just a sign that says, you know, Wick City Community Garden or Kittanning Community Garden or whatever we're going to call it. And then maybe just some instructions or rules we could put behind there. So, because I want to make some rules that, you know, if you're going to take produce from the garden, I think that you should have to work in the garden. So whatever that's going to look like, if you want to be someone that's going to come and water every now and again, we could have a little watering chart that just says, hey, you know, I watered today, and you could just mark it down. On Monday I watered, or, you know, whatever, and people could just kind of log their hours. Obviously, we're not going to police it, and I don't want to make it super stringent. And obviously, if someone's hungry and needs food, I'd rather them take food out of there than steal from the store or something, so, or go hungry. So I just, but I don't know, I just have some different ideas there. What do you guys think of the flower wall? I think it'd be super cool. Let's see here. Sorry, I missed a comment here. Oh, Tyler says apple butter is the bomb. Absolutely it is, 100%. Braden says, hello. Hello. Glad to have you, Braden. Swan says, seems like a spectacular summer on the East Coast and West Coast. A little hot in between, sounds like. You know what? It's been hot here. It's been one of the hotter summers that I can remember in my time in Kittanning and in my time in Pittsburgh. Remember the second year that I lived in Pittsburgh was the hottest one that I remember. And I think a part of that is where I lived. I lived on a second-floor apartment with no air conditioning, and it was brutal. Could not wait to get out of that place. And, yeah. Anyways. Bad memories. Plus, I still had Minnesota blood back then, so I was really not used to the heat. I loved winter, and I hated the heat, so. I'm getting a little more used to the heat now, although I still don't handle it all that well, to be perfectly honest with you. That's why we try to get summer serve done by like 1 o'clock. Big shout out to Melissa yesterday for washing my paintbrushes, too. That saved me a lot of time. I already got home super late, but I would have been even later if I did not have your help. So thank you for that. Let's see. Swan. Oh, sorry, I read that already. Roblox says, yesterday I hit 30 subs. Fantastic. Melissa says, as she laughs watching the live, Andy, why is she always laughing at you? I don't know why she's always laughing at me, but someday we'll know. Normally she laughs because when I'm thinking, she says, I go, so I know she laughs at that, but other than that, I'm not sure why. State Farm shirt, yes, absolutely. I've had this shirt for like over 10 years. It's one of my like outside gardening shirts. And actually, I just put on a colored shirt when I do these videos because otherwise I just wear a white shirt all the time. And I don't want you guys to think I just wear the same shirt every day. But I always wear white undershirts, and then when I come home, I normally just have a white undershirt on. But for you guys, you have to dress up, you know? Sorry, bear with me. Okay. Tyler says, how's your honeybees doing? The bees are doing great. They have been, in the heat, it's so interesting. All the bees come out of the hive when it's hot. So the outside of the one hive I have is super full. It's got to be just loaded with honey. And that hive, when it gets to be like 90 degrees and all the bees come out, you can't even see the front of the hive. There's so many bees. It's insane. There's got to be thousands upon thousands of bees hanging out on the outside of the hive. Because what happens is it gets too hot and they cannot keep it cool inside. And so I have them where they have afternoon shade. I have them, it's like the perfect setup for bees. But when it gets hot like that, they can't handle it. So they come outside and they cool off, just like anyone else would. And yeah, so it's been really cool to watch them. But it's nice when it's hot like that because I get to confirm that they're doing well. That there's a lot of bees in there. That they're multiplying the way that they should. And yeah, hopefully I'll get to harvest some more honey. That was pretty awesome in the spring when that happened. If you didn't see that video, it was probably a little while back, but my wife found a hive or a swarm outside, and so I got to actually capture my first swarm. It was really cool. It worked out really well. So I'm cutting slower, I'm talking slower tonight, but I guess we're having more of a conversation, so that's good. Those of you that don't know, I'm cutting apples while those of you that are in here now. I see we have 12 people now, so that's pretty cool. But I'm up to like, I don't know, maybe a third of a gallon. So it's good progress. I'm not even through half of one of the bowls that I have here. So I'll get at least a gallon and a half tonight, probably. But like, look at that one. That's just gross. I think there's been some other animals down there kind of eating up the apples. I've had an abundance of rabbits this year, so I think it's rabbits. But yeah, anyways. But see, that one apple that was bad, like I got 3 really good pieces out of that. Like, look at this. That's a good chunk. So, you know, it's worth going through these. And then, like I said, the chickens get the rest. So I'll only have to feed the chickens half of what I normally would tomorrow because they'll have all these apples. So it's like, it's a win-win-win. What else we got? Let's see. Sorry, I missed a couple here. Braden says, do you know of any other local YouTubers? I know of a couple. There's a high school kid that wanted to do a collab with me a little while back. He makes like comedy videos in Armstrong High School. Some of them are not like Christian content, so that's a little more difficult for me to agree to. But maybe we'll come up with something. I told him to brainstorm ideas with me, and I told him if he wanted to just come into Summer Serve, I'd be happy to give him a shout out. But yeah, I know of him. There's another lady that she's local. She has a beauty channel. Her name is Lori, and I think her channel is All That Beauty with Lori. She follows me on here, and she comments every now and again. And so she seems pretty cool. She came to my office one day, and we got to talk and chit-chat about YouTube. So that was fun. Sorry, the bottom of the bowl's wet. Just making sure my apples aren't like rotting. But that's really all that I know of. There's a couple other local people. 3D Maker Kid has a channel. He hasn't been on here in forever, though. I hope he's doing okay. Yeah, I'm trying to do a collab with him at some point, too. He has like his dream is to open a 3D printing workshop, or I shouldn't say that. He wants to open a makerspace, which includes 3D printing and many other things. If you can, like for people to build prototypes and to, experiment with different tools and those kinds of things. So he's like 13 or 14 years old and just a really cool kid. But other than that, Tyler used to make a lot of vlogs. Hopefully Tyler's going to get back in the game. Maybe Tyler will take my idea and run with it. But I'd love to help you, Ty, if you want to get back into it. But if any of you guys ever want to get into YouTube, like I would love to have more YouTubers in Kittanning. I think it's the wave of the future as far as marketing anything. And so if you're a local business and you want to learn how to do YouTube, or if you're a local person and you just want to learn how to start your own channel and you want to get into it, I'm happy to give away all my secrets. I'm an open book, and I had to learn everything the hard way, so I'd rather someone else get a jump start. And honestly, I mean, if I was in a different niche, I think I'd be much more successful. Like if I was doing homestead videos or something like that, I would probably be doing much better because my market's limited. I'm mostly just focusing on Kittanning. But my dream is that this kind of movement would take off, and so we could spread it to other towns, and then it would become like we could be the model for how to turn around a city. And then I think my channel could be more popular because we would have other towns looking to us and trying to figure out how did Kittanning do it. And so they'd find my videos, and then I could be someone who goes around and tries to train other city managers and people around the country how to turn around their city. Anthony's in the house. Anthony, good to have you. Hopefully we'll get you back at Summer of Serve again one of these days. See, that's gross. That's starting to mold, actually. So, I'm glad I'm getting a hold of that one right now. Chickens will still like it, though. Chickens don't care about mold. They love it. Let's see here. Swan says, thank you for the apple tree advice. Andy, I do have some apple trees here, Washington State, after all, but never even thought about what you said, collecting them, or most of them. No chickens here, by the way. If you don't have chickens, you got to get some chickens, especially if you got apple trees. And then get some of the mobile fences that I have. You go around, get them from Premier One Fencing, and just put it around your apple tree area, and then just let your chickens live in there during like apple season. So then you don't even have to pick them up. They'll just eat all the bugs. They'll eat everything that's in there. You won't even have to work at it. Free eggs. You get eggs out of it too. Or find a neighbor and rent some of their chickens. Anyways, Braden says, I was at a church camp called Whitehall last week, and it was rainy for the first two days, but then it was like 80. So that's pretty good. That's awesome. Very cool that you're at church camp, too. I hope you had a great time. Meatloaf is swearing in the chat. Terrible. Let's see here. Tyler says, are there any church events this week? Yes, there are. We have First Thursday Worship Night is on Thursday. So those of you out there, if you want to come out to First Thursday, we would love to have you. Our church we have a good worship team, and we have just a passionate group of people that love to worship. And it's a really laid-back atmosphere, but if you're used to like traditional church worship, I would just encourage you, just come out Living Water one time, where we won't try to steal you from your church, I promise. But just come and experience First Thursday one time, and I bet that you'll love it. It's a really awesome experience with a really great group of people. So come on out to First Thursday. Let's see here. Oh, Summer's in the house. Good to have you, Summer. It's fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, Summer says yummy. Yeah, look, we're up to like 2/3 of a gallon now. We're getting there. Let's see here. Swan says, yes, multitasking. You should be rapping about it. Someday we're going to make our diss track for Ford City. We're going to. I actually picked out the music. I have the music already, so now we just need some more lyrics. If anyone wants to get in on the Ford City diss track, let me know. It's going to be fire. Let's see. Todd says, scratching off 2 lotto tickets. Todd, I hope you win, but at the same time, don't play the lottery. They always win. They always win. Like, you never win in the long run. You cannot win. So just please stop playing. Don't waste your money. Save it for your daughter and go do something fun with her instead. Or give it to God, and you will have a better chance of multiplying your money than you will on lottery tickets. That I can guarantee. Okay, next one. Todd says, can't win if you don't play. $3 billion won. Not $3 billion. There's no chance. I think somebody there won 100,000 or something, but nobody's ever won $3 billion on the lottery. I can guarantee that. Let's see here. Can't win if you don't play is true, but also you can't lose if you don't play either, so keep that in mind. Anyway. Zach has a YouTube channel, but not sure what he does on there. Yeah, Zach has some interesting videos on his YouTube channel. He had one video. I think he took it down because he told me about his YouTube channel, and I went and checked it out, and then I immediately had to rebuke him because he had on there one with some bad words on it, so I had to get out of that. Sorry, some of these apples are really gross if you see me making faces. Let's see here. Tyler says, when do you want help with apple cutting? Tyler, if you want to come out Tuesday for small group, that's probably when we'll cut apples, and then we could just, you could join us for small group and walk home with some apples. It would be a good time. Let's see. Chickens rock. Yes, chickens are fantastic little creatures. They are just so versatile. If you're going to have a garden, there's just no point in having a garden and not having chickens. Like, I would probably, I don't think I would even run a garden if I didn't have chickens, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think I'd be happy to have one without the other. It's pointless to not have a garden if you have chickens, and it's pointless to not have chickens if you have a garden. They were just meant for each other. Let's see here. Let's see. Braden says, I wish we had chickens, but when we bought our house, part of the contract stated no livestock of any kind. That's crazy. Are you in like a rent-to-own or something? I don't understand how that could ever be possible. Like, if you bought the house, it's yours. You can do whatever you want. Now, there's some cities that don't allow chickens. Kittanning actually doesn't allow chickens, which I think is a travesty. We should have some chickens at the community garden. That would be amazing. There's enough room in the back. We could put chickens in there, and all someone would have to do is go feed them every day and collect the eggs. But then we could make a little box. We could have the eggs and put them in the box, and we could put produce in the box, and it would just be an awesome thing. And then once we had, once we got to wintertime, we could just let the chickens loose in the whole garden, and all winter they could fertilize the garden for us and prep it for next year like they do at my house. It would be amazing. So Kittanning Borough, let us have some chickens. We're missing out. Let's see here. Swan says, yep, you are laying the foundation for a YouTube fire. How did that little city take off that way? Well, ask Andy. Yes, absolutely. That's 100% what I'm going for. Swan also says, I won $3 billion, Andy. Had to pay it all in taxes. Yes, you would have to pay an immense amount in taxes. I always hope that one of our tithing church members, if anyone's going to win if anyone's going to win the lottery in Kittanning, I hope it's a tithing church member. Because then they could fund our church planting efforts for the rest of time. That would be wonderful. But anyways, we can't rely on that anyways. God is the one who provides the increase, and so we're not relying on any man-made system. We're relying on Jesus only. Getting to the bottom of one thing of apples here. Getting quite a lot done. Happy with the progress. This is a good way to work, actually. You guys are making this entertaining. Because I always complain to my wife, I'm like, it's no fun to work if I don't have any company, but you guys are keeping me company, so it's like a win-win for me. See this apple? This apple looked good on the outside. This is how deceiving things can be. This one looked good. There was going to be some good parts. Cut on one side, bad. Cut on the other side, bad. 100% bad apple. A lot of these ones at the end are bad. All right, this one looks decent. Okay, next one. Todd says, I missed a couple. Zach needs to come back to church. Yes, absolutely. Meatloaf says, in Derry we had chickens. They escaped all the time, so we were kind of glad when they were slaughtered. I had one lady that was escaping for a while, but she seems to be back in line. I haven't seen her out in a while, so that's good. But yeah, I had one chicken escapee. I think she figured out that she could push through the fence, and so I was thinking I might have to electrify for a couple of days, but I didn't have to. She seems like I had there was a couple of holes that I kind of closed up that I didn't have it secured well enough. But my neighbor started to complain a couple times. She went over and pooped all over his driveway the one day, so he wasn't very happy with me. But he got over it. I fixed the problem, and all's well that ends well. Okay. Next one. Tyler says, community petting zoo. Yes, absolutely. Come pet the chickens. We could charge $5 to pet the chickens. We could take them down to the folk festival. Good time would be had by all. Todd says, I just want to win enough to get a Super Chex bubble hockey. I went to Bugsy's Pizza, and Adam and I played for 3 hours. That's a lot of bubble hockey, man. Although the money goes so far there, you pay like 50 cents, and you can play for like a half an hour on 50 cents. So you probably spent like $5. So that's money well spent. But you could totally afford bubble hockey. You just got to quit buying lottery tickets. Put all that money in a little jar, and you'll have a couple $100 in no time. And then you can buy your bubble hockey and have it all to yourself. And then you'll save money on bubble hockey. You could put that money in a jar and retire off of it. This is how I think. This is why I save a lot of money. I'm as cheap as they come, and I have a decent income, and so it's like it works out really well. My wife is also cheap as I am, and now we've only recently started to buy some nicer things because we're like, well, we've got to spend it eventually. Summer needs eggs. Summer, you're in luck. I have a dozen to sell, so if you need some, you can stop at my office. I'll bring them to the office, and you can pick them up. Meatloaf says, yeah, he was great. Who was great? I feel like I missed something. Oh, in Derry we had chickens. They escaped all the time. Okay, maybe I didn't miss anything. Oh, no. Melissa said we had a turkey as well as a pet. He was great, but we were over the chickens, so he had to go. Swan says, can you protect them adequately from predators? I wouldn't want to see any harm to them. Yeah, absolutely. Well, in town, there wouldn't really be any chicken predators that I'm aware of. Maybe skunks, but overall, we would just have them fenced in. And so that's how you protect them. And then just put a gate on the fence. So you could open up the gate into the garden. And then we just put up a temporary fence in the wintertime so the chickens can get in the garden. And yeah, it'd be super easy. We could protect them for sure. Braden says, I gotta go. Nice talking with you. God bless. God bless, my friend. Thank you for being here tonight. Melissa said they'd fly over the fence, and I got tired of chasing the stupid chickens to put them back in the coop. Totally not my thing. Yeah, you just need a taller fence. You just need better security, and you could, or you have to cut their wings. And so that's the best thing to do. Chickens have, like under their wing, they grow really long feathers that are the ones that enable them to fly. And so you grab the chicken. Yeah, you pull out their, it's actually the front, right here. You pull out their wing, spread it out, and all those feathers come out, and you just cut them with a scissors. It doesn't hurt them at all. It's like cutting your fingernails, and then they can't fly anymore. And if they fly when you cut both wings, then the trick is just to cut one wing. And so if you just cut one wing, then they can't fly because they're off balance when they try to flap their wings. And so sometimes I've heard that one wing actually works better than two. Festival coming up soon, woohoo. Yes, festival week is upon us, actually, so that's fantastic. Festival starts on Thursday through Sunday, so make your plans to come down to Kittanning and enjoy the folk festival. Meatloaf says, you're tired of chasing chickens. What about when the cats get out? You gotta chase them, corner them, bribe them, and then beat them for running away. You're too much. Tyler says, talk to you later. Andy, have a great night. Tyler, come and see me this week. Let's talk about YouTube. I want to get you back in the game. Todd says, bubble hockey is $3,000 new. Sounds like you need a used one. Let's see. Melissa says, we did cut their wings. Jennifer's in the house. Good to see you, Jennifer. Swan says, okay, but with chickens in the garden, aren't they eating what you're trying to grow? Well, they would be, but what I do, I only let them in the garden in the summertime or in the wintertime. And so in the summertime, you fence them off. You give them a separate area in the summertime. You can still give them all the scraps from the garden, so they still get, some healthy outdoor food. My house is big enough where I can give them a whole different area, and they're still very happy. And then in the wintertime, you move the fence again, you let them into the garden, they eat all the extra weeds that are in there, they eat all the extra weed seeds that are in there, and then they eat all the garden pests that are left over, and they fertilize the entire time. So in the winter, I actually pour all their food all over the garden, so they have to dig it up, and then they fertilize in there as they go. It's a beautiful system. It really, really works well. Swana, if you need me to make a new video on like my update on how my chicken and garden system works, I'd be happy to make that for you. Just let me know if you're interested. There's some videos previous on the channel though, so if you go back on the vlog, I don't know, you might have to go back several months, but you should find a video that'll show like how I garden and those kinds of things. Todd says, figuring me out a way to get one. I don't smoke or drink, so I play once in a while. But yeah, I need some super checks. Very good. Todd will work on your financial plan, and we'll figure out how to get you some bubble hockey, my man. Summer says, I used to have to chase the cows back in the field before work. Not fun. Yeah, cows are a little more difficult than chickens, for sure. And, chickens are like, they're pretty easy. And if they're out for the day, who cares? Let them go. And if the chicken gets eaten, you're only out like $4. And you're like, well, they just went down by natural selection. Let's see. I'm going to finish this one bowl here. Sorry, I got distracted. And then I'm going to head out. It's been fun. This was really fun, actually. So the next few weeks, you can probably expect to have me cutting apples as we talk. Let's see. Meatloaf says, it seems like guys don't enjoy cute dogs as much as women do. I'll say, oh my goodness, Tyler, look, it's way cuter than you. And he's like, it isn't that cute. Just be quiet. Dang. Yeah, I think you're right. probably why guys will buy a cute dog and walk through the park, because all the women swoon at cute dogs. So yeah. Pro dating tip for all of you single guys out there. Let's see here. Todd says he's going to hold me to that. Won $5 on his ticket. I'm happy you did. Carter says dab. I thought dabbing is like way over by now. But anyways, I am out of here, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night. Super fun to have you on the live stream. I'll see you next Sunday at 9 o'clock. See you tomorrow morning for Mental Health Monday. And then we'll see you on Tuesday for your regularly scheduled Summer of Serve video. It's going to be a really good one. You guys can see the monster house that we started painting on Saturday. And if you want to come out and serve for Summer of Serve, I'm putting in an order for 40 more shirts because I've gone through 40 shirts already this year. And then we need to... we need to finish this huge house. So if you're not afraid of ladders, I would love to have you helping on Saturday. And we got to finish it. I think it kind of bit off more than we could chew, but God's got to figure it out. God's going to find a way for us to get it done, and it's going to be awesome. I think that's it, you guys. Have a wonderful night. I hope you have a great week, and see you in the next one.